We're on some downtime at work right now, waiting on metal. I hope you can hear me good because of my mic. I guess this will be one of them times that I'm putting it to the test. So I want to talk about the different types of locker boxes in prison. Behind me, you got a dude sitting on his, you consider that your furniture in prison also. People would lay a towel over it and use it to sit on. And it's also for storage. You could buy a lock, put it on there. If you're in a cell, you really ain't got to worry about that unless you don't trust your bunkie or unless you think somebody's going to come in there and try to kick your box, which I'm going to explain that it really doesn't matter. You can have a lock on there. You could pop it with a pop tab. There's a way you can actually, an average person can pick a padlock using a pop tab. There's like a real thin piece of metal works for it. Now in prison, you got different types of locker boxes. I'm gonna go ahead and show a couple photos right here. These are the plastic ones. They slide back and forth on top. There's still a spot for the lock. When I was at Lakeview, CCA, privately owned prison, they had a stealing problem and a fighting problem and a violence and a gang problem. And when we first got there, the COs was telling us, "Hey, you guys should all buy a lock right now." And we were like, "Damn, me personally, I never heard that." But he was like, "Yeah, we got a stealing problem." He said, "I'm not telling you to use it for anything else, but I'm letting you know it could be a comfort thing, a safety thing to make you feel better because a lot of people use them as weapons now." He said, "I'm not telling you to use it as a weapon." But we're all like pretty much understanding what he's saying. So a lot of people buy locks. I did. I bought a fucking lock right there. I signed a paper, $9. I'm like, hell yeah, I might get this motherfucker because I knew what I was walking into. Now, these ones you can easily break into, so having a lock really doesn't matter. But these are what they bust out for a few reasons. If multiple people have been hurt with the metal ones, they'll bust them out. And if they are running loose on the metal locker boxes, they'll bust them out. That's a close-up of what an actual locker box looks like. They could be tan, black, or blue. Now, there was someone unalive that they using one of these. They dropped it on his head. They fucked him up. He was a young kid. He only had like maybe 4 to 6 months left on an 18-month period. And he was unalive in a locker box. Prison is obviously a very dangerous place and very unpredictable. You don't really know what's going to happen from day to day. Now here you got a cabinet. In some prisons you got actual cabinets and reasons that people will use. But not all prisons or dorms have these. Sometimes it's like honor dorms that have these. I've been in multiple spots, level 2s and level 3s. Open door, medium security, and cell block, closed security prisons that use these. And actually, it's like having your own closet. There's shelves in there, a lot more space, commissary room. It also has a lock on it. Usually, these right here are actually they don't have to give it to you, but when they do, it's like a really good thing. It's like extra storage, and it just makes you feel that little bit more like human. Whether you do or don't drop these makes a huge difference. It does take up a lot of room though. So going back to this photo, look at the room that they got. That's for him and his bunkie. You got your, bunk bed, your racks, but 2 of these will be in your room. Now, mind you, there's people who buy locker boxes, whether that be keeping the box in somebody else's room, but it's your storage, like it's your real estate. Or they'll actually bring it in the room. I've seen people with 3, 4 locker boxes in a room, knowing damn well you're only supposed to have 2. Some prisons, they didn't give a fuck. You can do that, ain't nobody gonna say shit. When I was at Trumbull Walls, level 3, I've seen that a couple times. People would buy people's locker boxes because they needed the storage for extra commissary, especially if you ran a store. But the main thing people use these for is cooking that one. Because you can lock it up, do what you gotta do, put some hot 190 in there. It'll sit there and fucking keep it nice and warm and shit, you know what I'm saying? Hey, a lot of people hate these right here because they fucking, not only are they easy to break into, what I just said with the wine and shit, in my opinion, they don't work as good because they got like a little bit of a leaf that comes out, I guess, as far as smell. The other ones seem to be like a more sealed shit. Hey, I'm gonna end it with this. When I was at Lebanon, roaches would live inside of these boxes. Like you'll open it up and it'll seem fine, but there's a layer of metal that you can't see, like in between. Even just the slightest little crack in between where it's two layers of metal from where they formed it, the little tunnels inside there, the roaches will get up inside there and have babies. So every time you open your locker box, just knowing you got food, clothes, whatever in there, and there's a couple roaches will come running out of your box. Definitely no type of way to live. Like I told y'all, I want to educate y'all on what's going on. This is one topic I haven't seen too much of. I'm not saying I'm the first person to talk about prison locker boxes, but I haven't saw nothing at all. I haven't saw one video talking about locker boxes since I've been home. So I figured I'd go ahead and get into this topic. And just remembering I lived like this for 6 years, 9 months is just trash in my mind. Pisses me off. I don't know why I did this to myself. This is a part of my life that I'll never get back. But what I did do is learn a couple valuable lessons of what to and not to do in life, what they got waiting for me if I choose to do those things in life, and not to take life for granted, to feel blessed and grateful. That's one thing prison does. It makes you realize what you should have been grateful for. Remember, your past isn't a life sentence. If you go through it, go through it. Follow your heart about the plan. Stay safe, stay free, stay blessed.